So this presentation is based on the work of Cusheri, Grech, and Sabona Ventura 2018. Now, in your case, in architectural thesis, it is far better now that you begin your study in research methods to proceed with thesis 1 and 2. Now, before, 10 years ago, when I studied architecture here, we there's no assurance that the RM topic would be approved in as a thesis title. That is 10 years ago. I took my RM 2012, then the thesis is 2017. So it's not a matter of self-plagiarism class because you are allowed to reuse the material that you will submit in RM, the final paper, to proceed with thesis 1. So you are allowed to do that. That is not self-plagiarism. Because there is an internal agreement in the department that the RM will proceed to all theses. Now, in thesis class, we have three distinct and important phases or stages in the writing of the thesis. Now, I understand that you, by nature, are not writers. Architecture students think using visual graphics. So that is one of the strengths and of course a weakness of architecture students. They are not trained to be writers. The best way to give you an example on how to write is your justifications for your design concepts and designs. That is an example of writing, the writing process. I understand that you have finished English 1 and 2. You have English 1 and 2 in college. Huh? You don't have technical writing. You don't have subject for your technical writing. Wala. So this is regarding part of your case. So again, we have three distinct stages in thesis, and we separate them by first the preparation phase, which is you are currently doing. Second is the structuring, and the third is the finalizing. Now, the the preparation phase, you've begun doing it um, with the finalization of the research topic or the project. Now, it is important that the study that you are doing interests you. Because if you do not have interest in your study, the building itself, if it does not interest you, then there is an issue or difficulty for you to proceed with thesis. But if you are forced to have a topic that does not interest you, but that is the approved one, please do your best to love the current study. No? Mahirap yan yung sa case ninyo. Sino dito ang na-approve na ayaw nyo study? Be honest. Si Emil, gusto niya yung study niya also kaya pinapagbigyan natin Basta may pakita niya lang yung dokumento na magka-approve or magka-acknowledge dun sa study. No? Just like mathematics, if the subject does not love you, look, you love the subject. You love the subject. So it is important that the the study itself interests you. The second step is to conduct the literature review. Now, in the literature review, as we have discussed earlier, we base those information for us to apply in the thesis itself. Now, RRL or literature review can also be mentioned immediately in the background of the study. So, in the background of the study, you are going to mention these literatures that makes it or makes your study feasible as well as doable during the 1-year period of your research process. Now, let me have an example. Sino dito ang gusto masampulan ng niya, study niya? Anong topic niyo ulit? Pilgrimage tourism part. Now, how to make a background of the study based on literature. So it is important, class, that you as the researcher should find relevant and directly connected literature to your study. It does not only be put in your chapter 2 of review of related literature, but also be placed in chapter 1, background of the study. How can we do that? First, identify the keywords. For example, pilgrimage, park, as well as tourism. Those things can be used to find the important literatures in Google Scholar or in the internet. So you can begin by doing a background of the study of the site, no? Who owns the land, the geographic location, also the demographic factors. The demographic factors like what people is currently living in the vicinity, what are their ethnicity, what is their level of education, the population in the sense of gender, as well as the age. So those things can be included in the background of the study. Now, how can you find that information? You can find that in websites like the PSA, Philippine Statistics Authority. Those are still literatures. Even the CLUP itself is a literature because it provides you information that informs your study. It informs your study. Meaning, the study is workable, the study is doable. Okay? So, in those information from literatures, it can help you build the background of the study. So, for example, you can begin your introduction by saying pilgrimage tourism sites in the world helps a community in its economy. You can begin by that. So first, the macro level, the worldwide level. Second, the Philippine level. The third, the regional level. The fourth, the provincial level. So those levels or the hierarchy of the pilgrimage sites in the world, what are its socio-economic impact to the community or what is its cultural importance to a community. You can do that in the background of the study, which is which is in the first place came from the sources that you have taken in review of related literature. Actually, the background itself is the summary of the RRL, especially RRL specifically on your topic. Okay? Clear tayo dun. So, yes. Yes. Introduction will be the introduction of your project. The background of the study. Why are you studying it? No? Even the background of the site can be included in the background of the study. So why are you studying it in the context of this town? So that is the background of the study. Yeah. The general, yeah. Yeah. Intro. Pababa ng pababa. Because later in the chapter 1, you will encounter a section called the problem statement or the statement of the problem, which is you are trying to answer. No? You are trying to answer in the context of your site, of your locality. So that makes thesis important because it makes your idea localized. It makes your idea your own. Because you're doing it as an individual. We have the element of individuality here. But in this case, right now in RM, please do it as a team. No? Hindi as a group. Parang team, no? Para lahat may part na pina-play. Everybody should have a part to play. Now, in the literature review, again, it is detailed and discussed in the chapter 2. The chapter 2. So, again, what I require of you is 20. 10 foreign, 10 local. Now, in literature review, again, class, do not also be afraid to use what we call gray literature. Gray literature. When we say gray literature, those literatures are the ones that are not yet formally published by journals, but they are authoritative in nature. So, what are the examples of literatures that are not published by journals, but are authoritative in nature? The best example would be Lowe's. Batas. Batas. Another is your CLUP itself. Guidelines, memorandums, oaths, local government memorandums, local government resolutions. Those are literatures also that are done by people with authority or entities with authority. Do not be afraid to use that. Sometimes I wonder why students are not extensive in their literature review. Only to find out you cannot see any law that is related to it. For example, in pilgrimage, heritage sites, or pilgrimage, tourism, meron bang directly connected yan? Meron laws on parks and open spaces. laws on parks and open spaces, laws on accessibility, laws on cultural heritage. All of those are laws. Those are laws that are directly connected with your stuff. Even commercial buildings, even markets, we have a special law for that. No? Food and leisure park, laws on food. Right? Meron, pero hindi mag-connect yung may ginagawa. Release ka. Ano ba nasa isip ko naman? Okay, so those are literatures. Even theses and dissertations are great literatures. So that is how you will use literatures as information for the background of the study. Huh? Yeah. I call hindi na yun ibang usapan na yun. That is legal documents. No? That's why I call literature review in chapter 2 as you use it to be foreshadowed in chapter 1. Foreshadowing. Lagyan nyo naman ng trailer yung libro nyo. Avatar, Legend of Aang. No? Ito yung summary ng movie. Ito yung detailed na part. So the summary of the literature review should be present in chapter 1 and expounded in chapter 2. Ay, nawala kayo? Nawala kayo? Hindi. Nawala kayo? Hindi. And to be expounded in chapter 2. And in your literature review class, you identify the key concepts in the study. So for example, you try to work out what are the key concepts in your literature. For example, Don here talks about food and leisure park. How can we do an RRL and finding the key concepts? First, you find the relevant literature directly connected with it. Second, you can also thematize the topics in the key concepts in your literatures. You thematize it. For example, the importance of food to humans, or food as tourism, or food as a leisure. No? Pwede bang maging leisure ang food? Pwede na. Coping mechanism. The second would be leisure in your literature. Leisure in architecture. You can do that. Food in architecture. Food in art. Food as represented by architecture, by design. So those things can be included in the literature review. It enriches the information of your thesis. It enriches it. So the more colorful the more rich your thesis is, the better it is to be understood by your readers. Huh? If we go deeper, you can find the epistemology of parts. No? What is the study of parts? No? Under parts, what is leisure? And under parts, how can a food be an integral part of a park? Right? So those things can be included in the literature review. And the third, and perhaps one of the most important thing that you need to identify is the gap in the literature. If you can find a gap in the existing body of knowledge of architecture in your literature review of your part, then we can say that your study is important and you are trying to close that gap. No? Na-try nilang tumalon ng river. Na-try nilang tumalon ng river na wala man lang bridge. Kailangan mong pumunta sa kabila. Na-try niyo na yan? Pumunta, magdamang ka. Na-try mo na magdamang. Ang hirap. Ang hirap magdamang. That is the idea of literature gaps or gaps in the existing body of knowledge. No? Kung hindi ka man makagawa ng tulay para sa dalawang idea na yan, hindi ka makagawa ng bridge. If you cannot place a bridge in between, at least learn how to swim it. No? At least learn how to close the gap. No? Because gaps in research is a very difficult thing to close. No? Very difficult thing to close. You know, when I did my master's thesis, one of the huge gaps in Philippine architecture is Itawid architecture. Sino pa ang nag-thesis tungkol dun na architect? Wala pa. That's why it took me 2 years to do the entirety of the thesis. Although we are allotted only 1 year for the thesis. But I finished my master's in 2 years. So, this is the importance of having research methods first before thesis. Because when I took my master's, they immediately approved. My professor immediately approved my title. No, in the first year, first term, they already approved because it is a unique study. Ang baba ng grade ko, 1.0 lang. Sa Mapua, mababa na yung grade ko. Grade ko sa RM yung 1.0, mababa. Di ba 5 yung highest? The manuscript that I submitted in my RM is about 97 to 99 pages. RM pa lang yun. That's why I'm proud with my study kasi pinaghirapan ko. No? I worked hard for it. And the final version of the thesis in 2022 was 236 pages. Imagine the effort that needs to be done in order to close a certain understanding in architecture. No? And that's what I need to see your case. At least close a gap. Actually, your study on pilgrimage sites is a new thing. Bago yan. Even food and leisure park, bago yan. Paano maging architectural ang food? No? Those things. Ano sa inyo? Yes. Yeah, you know why? You have many factors to measure. You have many factors to measure. Pilgrimage. Ano ba? Park. Tourism. You have immediately 3 factors that you need to understand and to close. Maganda nga Maganda na 3 eh. Kasi RQ 1, 2, 3 mo kaagad yun. Search question 1, question 3 kaagad yun. Diba? So now that you are seeing the scope, the future scope of your study, it may excite you or intimidate you. Ha? Kay Emil nga natutuwa din kami kay Emil kasi it is rare that we have an orthopedic hospital. That's why we are pushing for that. Another thing that is good on that research is that it can provide us insights on what people think about orthopedic hospitals. Last year, the theme of the thesis, ang daming thesis last year, more on healthcare. Healthcare, not only for humans but also to dogs and cats last year. So I'm happy that those kinds of theses are being done in our department. Okay, matakot. It is workable. Step 3 would be to develop a RQ. Now, this is what I'm always saying to my students. Do not be afraid on doing your RQ because the objectives themselves are the answers to the RQ. The objectives themselves are the answers to the RQ. Meaning my approach, no? I'm not saying our approach. My approach in teaching research is that you do it in reverse. You do it in reverse. The objective that you want to do or your goal should be answerable by a research question. Easier. Instead of doing the RQ first, then determining the objective. That is more difficult. Okay? The 4th is create a research plan. So again, class, please, make due diligence in creating a research plan. Even itineraries. Because those are part of your methods. In your methodology, data collection method, as well as the timeline, please make sure that you can gather and analyze the data on time. Remember, you have only 1 school year to finish this. And that's why we are avoiding theses or researches that needs 3 to 5 years to be done. For example, Lester. Although I commend that paper, we cannot accept it because it is not workable for a bachelor's level. If you want If you want to go master's level, yes, you can propose it. Actually, there are schools that specialize in human settlements that can be done, actually, in the master's and PhD level. Bachelor pa sa inyo, pwede yun. Oh, bachelor's. Na, so, wag kayong maglagay ng this study will be completed in school year 2026-2027. Wag naman, class. Wag. 2024-2025 tayo. No? School year 2024-2025. Wag naman yung 2026. No, we cannot afford that. This is just a bachelor's level. Ah? Okay. I hope this is clear, huh? So, you are seeing the first phase of your thesis. Actually, this is a huge work for you, and it is a relief for you if you will complete this on time by the end of the term. So you have 9 weeks more in advance to complete the preliminary phase of your thesis. Mahabang panahon yan, actually. Okay? Kung wala ito, ang hirap mag-thesis na magsimula sa zero. Ang hirap. Malaki ang casualty. Malaki ang percentage ng bumabagsak dahil hindi established ang thesis 1 yun. Eh ngayon, RM pa lang, ayos na dapat. Okay? Actually, even in Mapua, the method is similar. Dapat RM pa lang approve na yung title. And there are master's levels that only had their approval by thesis 1. That's too difficult. Kaya maraming nagpa-masters. 5 years na sila. No? 4 years na sila. So, if you plan to be an academic like me, be prepared on those things. You should be able to present original ideas to universities. Wala naman sa inyo balang mag-academic, no? Mag-academic. Balak mo? Mag-masters ka. Mag-PhD. Ako, ewan ko kung bakit ganito ako na gusto ko mag-PhD. No? I want to do my PhD. Tsaka ang hirap mag-apply. No? Kailangan kong gawin pa yung dissertation ko bago ako matanggap. Sa abroad na schools. Dito sa Philippines, hindi ko alam yung setup. It's either Japan or Europe. So, again, please make your ideas workable. No, in 1 year time only. Please. Ayoko yung may nag-extend ng thesis. No? So, step 1 to 4, patapos na kayo dyan. So by the end of RM, you will be expected to create the 4th step, to finish by the 4th step. The research plan, your method, data collection method, and the timeline of the completion. Madali lang yan. No? You are familiar with different research methods in architecture like qualitative, historical method, correlational research. Those things you find the most appropriate research plan for you to do. Okay? Now, how can we say that a thesis is passing? So this is from Brooks in 1997, cited in 2018. Ibig sabihin, importante itong study na to. How can we say that a thesis is passing? First, ito pala, ito ako MSc ako. MSc pass with distinction. Kasi nominated for best thesis yung sa akin. Minor. Pass. Ganda daw. Yes. Sabi ng advisor ko, the members of the panel have deliberated and agrees that the decision of your master's thesis is passed with minor conditions. Tapos in-announce ng dean ng graduates. We nominate this for best thesis. Ano yung dean no? Okay. Anyway, kayo paniwala ko. So these are the metrics. These, these, these are the measures in order for us to say that your thesis is passing. First, the reason for and importance of the study is clearly stated. Again, be transparent in stating the importance of your study. In your introduction to the background, everything should be well cited, which we go to link to literature. The link to the literature should be clear. When I say link to literature is clear, introduction pa lang, may trailer ka na kung anong laman ng literature review mo. Clear? Clear, ha? Third, the theories and concepts are apt or tama yung ginamit mo na theory. It is clearly defined and reflect understanding. Ibig sabihin, hindi mo binuhulaan yung analysis mo. You are really critically analyze the literature and the construct or the theory that you are presenting is done by you as well as understood by you and can be understood by the reader. Lahat, kumbaga sa pansit, kompleto ang rekado niya. Huwag kang lagyan sa tambang na nasusobrahan, no? Yung tama lang, pero kompleto. Ha? The fourth, and what I always talk about in my students, is the terms clearly defined. Hindi kayo makakaaway ng panelist mo because of ambiguous terminology. Ambiguous as well as malabo, unclear definition. Mamaya, great architecture. Anong great architecture sinasabi ko? So all of this should be properly defined in your definition of terms. So you can clarify it. You can use the operational definition or constitutive definition in those cases. Pamilyar na kayo, no? Previous lectures, sa handouts nyo, meron dun, paano kumuha ng magandang definition of terms. And the accused hypotheses are testable based on literature and based on literature. When we talk about testable hypotheses, it could be replicated. Pwede i-verify ng iba. Now, this is your methodology, this is your hypothesis. Can you test it? Now, the working hypothesis that I am part right now, which was published in December, is the hypothesis that humans have a huge impact to the earth. No, especially in tropical countries. Humans usage of land or the land use in tropical countries. Our lead scientist is from Germany. So si Dr. Patrick Roberts, yung lead scientist namin. Ang current na hypothesis is that our land use in the tropical countries for people, meron siyang effect. Paano makikita yun? Paano mo masasabi totoo yung hypothesis nila? The method that Dr. Roberts is proposing is to drill the soil, to take samples, microscopic evidence of seeds. Yes po? Microscopic evidence of seeds and crops. No? Microscopic evidence. Hindi naman gawa ng ayos, hindi naman gawa ng trees yun. Ano din ang gumawa? Tao lang ang gumagawa. So there are existing hypotheses that can be tested. In your case, in bachelor's level, your hypothesis would be, how can sustainable architecture be used in this project? How can biophilic architecture be used in the park? Yung hypothesis mo dun is yung biophilic architecture. How it would influence the design. So, those are hypotheses that could be tested. Now, in the bachelor's level, bumabagsak siya, of course, because it is opposite that is expected. For example, not stated. Yung literature not stated or reference. No link to literature. This is the worst. No link to literature. Most of the time, in defense of students or oral presentations, when the student cannot provide the proper literature for the question of the panelists, it could spell disaster. No? So, lesson here is that you should be familiar with your literature. Familiar like the back of your hand. Kabisado mo yung literature mo para hindi kayo mag-away doon sa study ninyo. Now, in that case, in oral presentation, doon kawawa yung estudyante. Worse if it is not cited in the study. No? So please, avoid those instances or avoid those presumptuous or arrogant instances that you do not cite the study, even if it is not popular, even if the study is not popular, please, cite it. That way, you respect the researcher as well as you make your study more authoritative. Of course, inappropriate theories, Hindi defined yung term. Poorly stated yung hypothesis. No link to literature. No? Wala. Gusto mo ikaw lang nakakaalam. No? Hindi pwede. So the language that we are using right now in architectural research is English, academic English. So please, do your due diligence in making your RQs, all of it, chapter 1, to be understandable, comprehensible by the readers. Ha? Hindi ko conforme, nilalagay programmer pa. No, please. How about materials and methods? How can we say that the material and method is passing in the PhD level and the MSc level and the BS level? Well described with method, allowing for easy replication. Now, when we say easy replication, again, it can be repeated by others. It can be verified. It can be validated by others. So, kung ipapacheck nyo sa akin yan, dapat alam ko yung steps na ginawa mo. I know the steps. Therefore, I can trace the way you've done your sampling, the way you've done this stuff. The second is the method or the tool are suited to relationships between variables. This is where we enter in statistical methods in softwares if it fits with your study, if it is appropriate with your study. Alam naman, mag-statistics ka, puro word lang, puro word lang natanggap mo. Blah, blah, blah. Paano mo i-analyze yun through statistics? You analyze it using coding and thematic analysis, no? Or discourse analysis, not by statistical analysis. Ano kung gawin? Percentage yung puro word na kita. Nag-interview na puro word. Gawin percentage. Okay? The third is research design and setting fit the purpose of your study. Now, remember, the research design is the framework. Yan yung kalansay ng study. Siyempre, kalansay lang yan. Lagyan ng laman naman yan ng entrails. Yan ng laman loob para mabuhay yung study mo. But then again, the framework, the entirety of the framework lies on the research design. Okay, in the method section, that is the backbone. Hindi lang backbone, yan yung kalansay niya. No? How it fits everything. Okay? Kahit pa magbukang involved mo sa ating tao, kahit magbukang octopus na yung result mo. Basta, well-connected ang lahat ng data, lahat ng pag-analyze mo. Well-connected. You can trace everything. Okay? Fourth is, populations are well selected and clearly described. When you say populations are well selected, you are not biased in this manner. Hindi nakasurvey klase mo eh. No? Hindi the population is well selected. So if you are strict in one count only, you show it in the introduction of your survey question. Now in our case in RM, we will try to do sample surveys. Parang may experience yung kagad. Gano'n ka-hirap survey. No? Sheila, ilang months ka nag-survey? is ethics. Ethics. Oras na may magreklamo sa akin na respondent nyo, sabihin, hindi binigay yung premyo ng survey sa app to Diyos. Please, not do it. You do your research as ethical as possible. Do your best. It is actually the foundation of your research. The study would collapse. No? If ethics is not carefully done. How can we include ethics here? Informed consent. Informed consent, agreements, those things. Please, be careful. Okay, magpa-premyo. Depende. Bakit ba bumabagsak? Of course, the opposite of it. The opposite. No? Yung labo, yung iba ayaw i-replicate. Halata mo eh. Ang research na may tinatago halata. No? Hindi man lang binanggit kung anong software, hindi na. No? Wala ka kitang-kita mong CAD yung pagkagamit ng floor plan. Hindi niya binanggit yung CAD sa method. Kitang-kita mong sketch up yung pinag-3D niya. Wala kang mabasa ng sketch sa translation ng data. All of those should be mentioned. All of those. So if it is not placed in the method, red flag kita na pa. Pega sa akin. No? Because method, Mr. Dan here is asking if it is an honest mistake. I don't think so. I disagree. Because methods should be as detailed as possible. Even the phases, even the steps that you have done in the research process, all should be mentioned. All softwares. Ultimo, Google SketchUp, Google Earth na ginamit mo. For as long as it is valid or for as long as it validates the data, you do so. Sir, wala akong license software. Ang dami dyan sa labas. Merong educational version ng CAD. May educational version ng Revit. May Google Docs naman. May Google Sheets naman. Kung wala kang Excel. Kung tumigil ka. Ganun kayo. No. Please make it as detailed as possible. It is included in the ethics of research. No? Ethics and research. Yan, hirap, no? Ang hirap. Pag stricto ka dito, ang hirap. Kaya nga. At saka bakit ba? For example, bakit ka ba magre-revit kung wala naman sa methodology? No? Now, for the results. Although this is already thesis 1, no, by nature. Results should be placed like this. This is the metrics on results. First, well suited your statistics or your statistical analysis as well as your presentation is well suited for your study. Second is the method of analysis is well described. For example, correlational research, correlations between two variables.
Results can be easily verified. It is not doctored. Huh? The third is unbiased data collection. The presentation is logical and relations between variables are well stated. So, when you present your data in the future, although this is thesis 1 already, present it in a way that it shows succession, evolution. Hindi yung mauna ang floor plan before space programming. Ano ba yan? Hindi mauna ang bubble and arrow diagram sa space programming. Hindi ganun. Mauuna siyempre surveys. You surveys the preferences of your users. The second would be site analysis. No? The third, climatological analysis. The fourth would be code review. Ang daming layers yan. Code review, after code review, guidelines. After guidelines, the space programming. Space programming, bubble and arrow, floor plan, architectural plan, allied sciences, plans, and details, and also your analysis, your justifications on the windows. So, the presentation should be logical. It is in succession. Hindi yung parang kabute, parang mushroom na conforme na tumutubo. Hindi ganun. It should be understandable. Okay? The fourth is the data using tables and figures are well organized, standalone, support narrative, and relate to text and emphasize results. So, do not be afraid, class, to present your own data gathering results in the form of tables. Kaya matakot. Alam nyo naman ang sinasabing x-axis at y-axis eh. I know that you know that. No, so do not be afraid to place those. To organize those in a logical manner. Pati figures, huwag kayong matakot. Yung iba kasi na estudyante, mag-floor plan sila, gusto nila ang ganda ng rendering. Hindi laging ganun ang thesis. Even the facade, no? Gusto nila na-render lahat. No, it's not always like that. When you do figures in thesis, you present the facade, you present what is the inspiration behind those. Lagyan mo lang, gawin mo lang sa PowerPoint. That is enough, actually. Hindi yung parang PubMat na parang design competition, hindi ganun. No, hindi parang poster ang thesis. Okay? Yung thesis ko nga, black and white lang. Bahay-bahay. Cube lang. Makapasahan naman. Those things. We sometimes forget that architecture is a science. And in order for us to be defined really as a science, all should be organized. All should be systematic. Science tayo, hindi tayo. Kung hindi tayo science, dapat nasa SEAS. Lipat tayo sa SEAS. Makagro-drawing na naman ginagawa natin. Walang scientific method. Kung ganun nga talaga. So, thesis class should present how you think and how you organize things. So, this is the guidelines for a good conclusion. Logical, the discussion is logical, non-biased and organized, and clearly reveal patterns and relationships. The second is the relevance of results to theories and important literature well discussed and referenced. Class, it is normal in the conclusion section to cite literature because in your case, in architectural design, in the conclusion part, if it really matches the literature, you cite it, ay pwede talaga itong approach na to. So, i-cite mo ulit. This is similar to the result of, ganon, of Kapawatan 2022. Sukaldito 2024. That is how you will do the relevance part. Nakakalimutan ng estudyante yan, pero it supports your claim. It supports your claim. Naintindihan niyo ako? So pagka nag-conclude na kayo, hindi lang yung kayo yung nagsasalita. You also include the result of your study as well as how it matches to other studies. Paano sila nagbanggaan, paano na sila naging complementary sa other studies. In that way, existing literatures will support your study. Okay? The third is the limitation of the study clearly identified and discussed. Now, in the third part, do not be afraid also to mention your shortcomings, what you missed, and what you cannot do. For example, your site, anong rason kung bakit hindi kayo makapunta sa site? What is the reason? Actually, one of the reasons why I mentioned that Santo Niño is difficult to access in my master's thesis is because of the socio-political issues. Marami daw rebelde dyan. Mga NPA daw dyan. No? Nagkataon noon, magsusurvey sana kami, kinawagahan na enkwentro. Buti hindi namin tinuloy. So those things can be mentioned as a limiting factor of your study. Be honest with your study. That way, they cannot find other mistakes to be found. If you make a mistake, state it also. What led to that mistake? Kasi kung hindi mo i-mention yun, tapos may ibang researcher na gagawa ng study mo, nagawa niya rin yung mistake na yun, nasayang yung panahon niya. So, the beauty behind placing the mistakes, the limitations, the shortcomings of your study is for the future researchers to avoid those mistakes and shortcomings. No? Paano kung hindi natin banggitin yun? Paano kung hindi natin wala na, nasayang yung panahon nila. No? Nasayang yung panahon nila. And the fifth is the future relevant research suggestions given. Meaning, you are recommending things that could be done by future researchers. Hindi mo na kaya eh. Hanggang dyan ka lang. So ito naman ang gawin ng iba later. That way, you are contributing to the progress or the scientific progress of architecture. So paano nangyayari yun? Tapos na ito yung study, huwag mo nang ulitin, syempre, next year. Ulitin. That's why we do not approve titles that has been studied 5 years ago. No? We are talking about thesis here, ha? Okay? For the references, this is the reason why a thesis is passing. First, the sources are cited correctly. Proper app, proper style, and consistent writing. And you mainly reference primary sources. Hindi chika, hindi pakalawa. No? But it helps also if you include secondary sources. Okay? Include all of those references. For the appendices, this is the reason why appendices are passive. They are complete, well organized, and it supports this study. What do we mean by appendices? Sometimes there are data that are too much to be read inside the thesis. For example, tables and figures. Sometimes those representations are placed in the appendix. Sometimes. Ang gulo-gulo na tignan ng results and discussion is sobrang daming data. So nilagay na lang sa appendix. It's possible. Even definition of terms. Definition of terms now is placed in the glossary of terms in the appendix. It is a separate section in the appendix. What can be placed also in the appendix? Your letter begging for CLUP. Those can be placed in the appendix. Your letters, your emails, your chats can be placed in the CLUP. Now, if you want to hear the entirety of this lecture, unang phase pa lang yun, no? Unang phase pa lang yun, class. This is the thesis itself, no? The preface or the preface, the introduction, materials and methods, results, discussion, and conclusions. No, yan ang laman niya. That is the general structure of your thesis. Okay? And finally, yung iba? Kunti lang yung napunta sa akin. Mga 10 lang. Ha? Pa-check naman? And finally, in finalizing your thesis, ito yung kinaiinisan ng mga estudyante minsan. Mag-update ng reference. Mag-update ng reference. Paulit-ulit, lalo pagka mano-mano na ginawa yung reference. Update your appendices. Ito pa, proofreading and editing. No? Sa inyo, in your case, pagka thesis 2 na next year, you need to have it proofread and edited. Then, feedbacks also. And then, finalize. Kung tapos na na-edit, no? Tapos na ang plagiarism scan, congratulations, tapos na yung thesis. No? But again, the one that you are doing right now is the preparation phase. And you are fortunate that you are doing this right now. You will just refine it in thesis 1. Huh? You will just refine it in thesis 1.